Um, but Dan, yeah, I know you've thought about it as an intelligent human being. I'm sure you've pondered that. Why are we here? And what do you have any little ideas? You're muted, Danny.
Oh, okay.
Start.
Well, okay. Well, to try to be honest and serious, I this sounds maybe I want to believe what you just said, Gay, because I want to believe it, but I also believe that it's just an enormous accident.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
like one planet hit another planet, we're going off, evolution, you know, and now we're here. But that life, it to me, it's essentially purposeless, meaningless, uh, accidental, random, and there's no big plan, there's no one in charge. And it's and yeah, the only meaning is like what I just heard Gay say, that every human being has to, find their own meaning through religion or, you know, or work or their children or grandchildren. And I mean,
Dan,
I have grandchildren, and that's meaningful to me, my my sons and my grandchildren, and my work, was meaningful. But did I, yeah, I guess I just believe like and that yeah, that there was no purpose. Human beings came into the planet and then created religion, created explanations why we're here. I
I
pass.
I interviewed for one of my books a Nobel Prize winner in physics, and he said the our complexity is so great in terms of nature, in terms of just the human body, that it's improbable that just random acts of mutations could lead to this degree of sophistication. So he believes, as a Nobel, in what he called intelligent design, which doesn't mean creation in 7 days. It means there's an order, a purpose, an intelligence behind it. Um, Joel, you've thought about this as an observant Jew who went to rabbinical school. What would you say from your point of view?
What is the meaning of life? Well, a continuous arc of learning, I think, and um, I'm very hybrid in my Jewish beliefs and observance. But I actually just came across a teaching the other day that says that well, there are 50 gates of righteousness, uh, and one goes through them, one at a time. After the 49th year, 49, I guess it's 49th year, the 50th year is known as the Jubilee. And in the Bible, the Jubilee was an occasion for remaking society from the ground up. All debts would be canceled, all the property returned to their original owners. It would be a kind of general righting of things with justice. Um, I'm not sure. Well, in any case, but there's a teaching I read this past week said that it has to do with learning as well, that when you reach the 49th year of a process of learning, the next year isn't just the 50th year, it's also the first year of the next 49. So in effect, you never complete that cycle. You never go beyond a path of seeking. I'd be feeling more content if I had children and grandchildren, which I don't. My students I have often regarded as my children, and I like hearing back from them about what they're doing in life and
I'm
how they're making
sorry,
it
I
to
try to
society.
get out of this.
Sorry.
I have to turn off my phone.
Oh,
Is that Kathy?
Okay.
Um,
But anyway, basically, I believe that divinity is everywhere, in you, in me, in all of us. And but at the same time, I live in a world where I also believe in a woman's right to choose and a birthright citizenship and various other things that have become hot button political issues today. I give my support to those as well. So life is complicated. I guess that's maybe the overall answer.
that's true. To me, on the other hand, it's really simple. It's cause and effect. What goes around comes around.
Hmm.
What you put out comes back. Is to me, it's. I think John reminded me that what was that? I was in eighth grade or something, and someone asked, "What was that story?"
Oh, it was in the 10th grade. Someone asked you, why do you think we're here?
Hmm.
And you said to learn.
Oh,
And
okay.
you may have expanded, but I can't remember beyond that.
Hmm. To me, I don't remember that much. Um, uh, Taffy, what about you? What would you say? Meaning of life?
Meaning of life, geez.
Did you get the camera working?
I can see myself and I can see you. And when John speaks, I see him. And when Danny speaks, I
That's
can
because
see.
you have it on speaker. So put it on gallery.
Oh, I don't see gallery. I know somebody mentioned that. I don't know where gallery
It's
is.
under view.
I
There's
don't
a
know
view
where it is.
icon. It looks
I'm,
like 9
I
squares.
see Joel, and I see individual. I don't see everybody at once, but that's okay. I'm happy.
Okay.
I'm afraid if I touch something, the whole thing will explode.
Okay.
First of all, I like your glasses. They match your sweater. It looks really nice. You're color coordinated today.
Oh, Gail got new glasses too?
Well, I don't know if they're new, but they look very nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
they do
thanks. Yeah,
look.
they're pretty new.
I haven't recognized that
Thank
I'm
you.
on this.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Oh, look, there's Ann Pardee.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Ann.
Hi.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
Joyce
Good.
Scholar's here.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Yeah.
You haven't seen Joyce. Okay, but Taffy, what do you think is the meaning of life?
Well, I don't first I would say it's to enjoy, but then it also sounds very self-centered when I say life is to enjoy, but it's also to give back to society. If you notice, most of our jobs are centered on society. You being a teacher, I work for a dentist, and my husband was a teacher. But I think it's to give to society and love and patience. You have to have a lot of patience. Um, I don't know what else I could say about the meaning of life, but
That's profound. That's good.
okay. So I'll
Um,
pass to someone else who might
and
have a deeper thought.
well, that's good. And as a footnote, do you have snow in Idaho where you are?
Oh, well, first of all, we had a really cold snap. I think it was I don't know, it was in the high teens during the day and 0 at night. And then just around Valentine's Day or before, winter finally came in February. We haven't had much snow at all in December or January, but we got quite a bit of snow in February and it was wonderful.
Oh, good.
And then last weekend it started to rain. And now much of the snow has gone. And on Friday it's going to be 50. I wish the winter hasn't been long enough, but anyway. Yeah, so the grass, we can see the grass, and the robins have come back. I can hear the robins singing in the neighborhood.
Oh,
So yes, so we're survive. It's fine.
good. And Joel, you have snow, right?
Yeah, we're kind of well, we've had a little reprieve
Hi.
in recent days, but
Oh,
yeah, it
there
came down pretty
is.
hard last week,
I'll
and
probably have it after.
we're still kind of slushing around in the ice.
Mm.
And
Um,
I'll be happier when spring comes, I think,
yeah.
at least with the weather.
People who don't know, Joel and John are in the East Coast, in Mass and New York. Um, John, do you have snow?
Well, yeah, it's still on the ground and it's very icy.
Mm.
Though it is supposed to hit 50. today, but it's been cold and it's been kind of treacherously icy.
Where is that?
I'm north of New York City, buddy.
Buffalo?
No, nowhere near that. No, it's closer to Albany, New York.
Mhm.
I'm south, and it's on the Hudson River.
Oh.
Very close to the Hudson.
Down
What's the name of that town? I wrote it down once.
Cairo or Cairo. It's Cairo,
Cairo.
but they
Okay.
call it Cairo.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just
And-
fun for people who grew up in LA to hear about living in the snow now after not having
Well-
it in our childhoods.
Well, I had it my first 7 years. I probably told you that because I came from New Jersey originally.
Oh, right.
And all the time I was, in California, I used to dream of season changes.
Hmm.
But then when I moved out here, I started to miss the dry heat. So go figure.
So, John, while we're with you, what have you realized or come to about the meaning of your life?
I don't know if I'd use the word meaning. I'm trying to remember how Tret used to use it, like how do things mean? Or I mean, it seems like, I feel really weird about using a term like it's a human construct. I thought what Dan said was really, matched, I think, a lot of the things I think.
What do you think happens when you die?
Nothing. I think that's not true. I think we're organisms. I think the planet recycles us. I don't have I think it's kind of, well, we think in terms of our species as being better than dogs. We're more spiritual. We have souls, but those dogs, they don't. I don't.
Well, how do you know they don't have souls?
Well, I don't say that, but I think a lot of religions say that. I personally do think animals have souls.
I know your dogs, and they
Yeah,
have souls.
yeah, yeah. And I know your dog, and Omar definitely has a soul.
Omar has a
You
soul.
have only to look in his eyes to see he has a soul.
Right.
Do pterodactyls have it? Do pterodactyls go to heaven? I think I don't know. I came here thinking I was going to be on politics, and I was going to say I wanted to get
We're getting there.
I wanted to get Peggy Lusk's old job of just wanting to listen.
Oh,
Because but I mean, about the politics and everything, I'm just very confused, and I don't have any about most things right now. I don't really have. I find it very difficult. I don't know what to say about anything. I really don't.
Okay.
I really don't.
Anne, hop in.
Yeah, thanks. I'm sorry I joined so late. I missed the whole purpose of the beginning of this, and I'm quite surprised that it's not about politics.
It's about both, as I emailed. First, meaning of life, second, politics.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just went immediately to the Zoom and didn't look at the announcement. I don't know whether you guys realize it or not. And after reading Bill's response to your question, I'm flabbergasted. We're in the middle of a coup. This is really true. And to pretend that it's just about politics is not an issue. We're in deep doo-doo, big time. And I think every one of us needs to start our communities, build our communities, and talk about what we can do and make it really evident to the people that are now taking power that they don't have legal right to, and do something about it. You have to contact your congressman. You have to contact your senators. You have to be aware of what is going on, because this is not a joke. This is not just a television personality being out there with this red face saying you're fired. You can't do this. And we have to be able to say, we have to claim our legal rights on this. And I really want to tell these wonderful people that I went to high school with that this is something that's got to stop right now. And I would encourage you to reach out to all of your families, all of your everybody, all your clubs, your athletics people, everybody, your drinking buddies, your churches, everybody, your social clubs, and really concentrate on getting your voices heard. It's very, very important. If we're going to save our democracy, it's going to take a grassroots effort. It's not a matter of politics or parties. It's going to take a grassroots effort to get in there and do it. And you have to do something every day to do something about it. I would suggest strongly that you contact or that you look into the Indivisible website. They are trying very hard, giving things out every day to do it. And there's some incredible people who are writing the reality of this. They're not listening to the lies, and they're telling you the facts and figures. I was absolutely horrified by Bill's suggestion about what he said. I know I live in a bubble. I know that, the West Coast and especially Berkeley is a bubble, but it's going on, guys. And I lived in DC for about 8 years and was married to somebody with the Reagan administration. He's dead now, but he would have turned over in his grave if he heard this kind of disgusting ability to negate our Constitution, to declare it unreal. So I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. That's good.
No,
Right now, right up in front. Because our lives are not going to mean anything if, and I came in late, but I have a feeling that this is what Dan was saying too. If we can't protect our children and grandchildren, this is serious stuff. This isn't something you just, oh, okay, we can talk about politics. It's not politics. It is our lives. It's our legacy.
How do we protect seniors?
I'm sorry.
How do we protect seniors?
How do we protect seniors?
Like don't let them cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
Oh,
Absolutely.
no, he's already announced that there's so much fraud in Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid that they have to change and do something else.
They haven't proven that.
Musk just put that out.
Yeah, that is not the truth.
Musk needs to be gotten rid of. There's no doubt about that. I mean, he's not an elected official. He's doing incredible damage. And I think you need to just make your voices heard. Tell everybody about it. Just contact your representatives.
I think both of them are pawns of Putin.
Okay, what? I'm sorry.
They're pawns of Putin. I think Putin helped them get in here.
You're right.
I mean, can you imagine the Hitler salute from Musk?
Yeah.
Twice?
Yeah. One way you guys can vote where you don't even have to do anything is this Friday, February 28th. There's a national boycott, economic boycott. That means that you don't buy anything. You don't buy anything unless it's a case of emergency. You do not go to Walmart. You do not use Amazon on your computer. You do not do anything. You start from, what is it, 1 minute after midnight on the 27th, and then you go all the way to 12 o'clock on midnight on the 29th. It's the 28th. It's this Friday. So just put that in your calendars and just do it. You don't have to, it's not a physical, you don't have to go out there and use the sign with protesting, but that's one way to do it. And just be alert of what's going on. Just know that this is not something that's going to stop. When he starts eliminating the press, then you get really scared, because then you don't get the
Well,
information that's
Musk said that Hitler knew what he was doing when he got rid of the press, uh, and didn't have voices speaking out against what he was doing.
That's right.
He
Well,
actually said that.
don't you think much of what Donald Trump is doing is he's emulating Hitler in many ways?
Well, he had a book, maybe the only book he's ever read through is Mein Kampf, which was on his bed table. And I saw an interview where he said it was on his bed table. And then more recently, he said, "Oh, I never read Mein Kampf." But Hitler's playbook, he's been copying
Mm-hmm.
Hitler's playbook all the way along.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
That's,
also, what they're doing is they're telling the people, the public, about the huge fraud in Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid. Like they said, there's 300 billion fraud in Social Security, and they can't leave it like that. And but the watchdog, which I don't know which general it was, Inspector General, said it's not 2 or 300 billion. It's the most 7 billion. Quite a difference. And but they're putting out these numbers to rationalize what they're doing.
Martin, where do you live?
Oh, sorry.
I live in Playa del Rey.
And what kind, you're the first time we've met you for a long time. So what kind of work have you done during your life?
Well, I help people a lot, usually with legal cases, but sometimes just with recommendations um, and solutions. And I think one of the reasons that we're here is to help one another
Yeah.
and to do the best we can at that. Plus, I've had serious things happen to me, and there were signs of God in what happened because, like, I got hit into the street um, and bounced across 2 lanes of traffic
mm,
that were going 55, 60 miles per hour, and they didn't run over me.
mm,
Now I was all broken up, but they would have squashed me like a bug. And so I'm laying there screaming at the woman went through a stop sign, and nobody's coming over to me. They're all around this woman at the side street. And then a young black woman, all in white, comes over to me and says, "Would you like me to pray for you?"
mm.
And I said, "Well, I'm Jewish, but go for it." And she prayed. And then she went back to the curb. And until her foot hit the curb, nobody came over to me. And then everybody came over to me.
Mm.
Um, and then another instance was I was up in Mammoth looking at a bear cub, and the mother came into the window,
Oh gosh.
and her mouth was wide open. She was 1 inch from my face, and her paws were on either side of my face. And she's screaming. And I held my breath. And then I told the guy that was driving, but I thought just saying something would kill me. But I said, hit the gas. And he didn't. And then I threatened him. And then he hit the gas, and the bear fell off. But that was some sign of somebody protecting me.
Gail, can I make a comment about that? That is an
Sure.
incredible analogy of what we're going through right now, even down to the hit the gas.
Mm.
You know, the bear had you in his claws and ready to pounce and get rid of you. And you wanted somebody to hit the gas to get out of there. This is exactly what we're doing right now. We need to.
And you know what the guy was doing?
What?
He was sitting there lighting up a pipe and watching.
Hmm.
So this is what I say. Don't light up your pipe. Let's get things going here.
I'm not the one that light lit the
And
pipe.
also it's don't quit. Keep going. We can do this. We can turn it around. Don't quit. Keep your optimism open there, because it's very, very important that we make our voices heard, whether you do it with an economic boycott silently, or whether you get on the phone and call your senators or your representatives. And by the way, if you don't know who your senators and representatives are, there's an app called Five Calls, and you just get on that app, and it doesn't cost anything or anything. You just call Five Calls and give them your where it's
Zip
your
code.
zip code. Thank you very much. Yeah, and that will be of help. And I'm just I love you guys, and I'm really glad to be here. And I know we can do this. Okay, we can. You know, we're strong. We may be in our 80s, but we're strong, and we can do it. All right. Okay.
Joyce, can we hear from you? Um,
All I see is her.
always sees your name.
Her
Oh.
video, the video's off.
Yeah.
Says her mic is on, but her video's off.
Mm. We don't have anybody to give the MAGA point of view that's here. So I was kind of hoping we'd have a
Just as
dialogue, because what really strikes me is I'm convinced what Ann says what I believe, but then Bill and Dave, they absolutely believe that they're saving America, that democracy is what Trump and and Musk are doing. So we have such different beliefs. So I'm trying to get us to understand the logic of the different beliefs, because they believe as strongly as we do. Danny, what do you want to say anything? Because you were shaking your head, but you're muted. Danny's muted.
So who's on next?
No, well, no, I believe totally what everything Ann said and what you said, Kay. I just it's they have it's they have a different reality than we do because, well, we watch CNN and KQED and MSNBC,
He is
but
racing.
they are watching Fox News and these other uh, and so yeah, it's just two different views, two conflicting views of reality.
Well, the people that voted for Trump don't have his view, but they don't know it because his view and Musk is what can we do to get more money? Like
And power.
the reason they're dismantling everything is to show people that all this money is going to waste. But in reality, it's to hide the fact. It's kind of a red herring
Yeah.
because their main aim is to renew the taxes. And I saw where their budget is going to be $11 trillion, and but they want people to believe that the taxes and everything should be continued. And I've heard from the senators in Congress uh, that they want this too. All they ever care about is money and power.
Exactly.
And but the
Exactly.
people that they talk to believe that they're going to help them, and they're never considering helping anybody but themselves.
Exactly.
You got it. You got it. You got it.
Rachel Maddow has done reports on surveys, recent surveys, and about a third of Americans support MAGA, but the others don't. And the others are getting that chain sign, like that picture of um, Musk at the conference with waving his chainsaw around, or Trump having from the White House the picture of him with a crown, long live the king. The majority of Americans don't like that. And the polls are showing that. And they ask, who would you like to win the House in 2 years? And they say Democrats. So I think it hasn't taken long for people to
Well,
realize
yeah, but there's
what's
not
going
going to
on.
be a government in 2 years.
That's right. That's right. If we don't do something about it now, that's for
They
sure.
have to be stopped.
You know, another
There are
thing,
attorneys that are bringing case after case after case to try to stop them. But what Musk and Trump say is, how can you enforce the laws against us? And Trump just said, uh,
I'm above the law. He said he doesn't have to pay any
not
attention.
above the law.
yeah, I
He
am the law
says, if
I
I
am the
say
law.
it's right, it's legal.
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's for
That's
the
not
good of the country. And they
That's not our system of government. Our system of government is the constitutionality law, is the Constitution. And that's what we have to make sure that that always gets respected and that always is happening. And that's where it's ending up is in the courts right now.
But he
So
and Musk are saying that even if there's court orders, what can they do to us?
it's very frightening.
They control the Army, the Navy, the Coast Guard.
But you know what? They don't control the military. They
They
think they
do.
do, but they don't. Because the
They do
military,
because they have Hegseth, who is controlling the military.
but that's not the military swears a a a vow to the Constitution, not to the
So
president's
does the president.
Constitution. Okay, so I think I can't also answer all these
But what
questions.
about the senators, Republican senators, and Congress people, man? Um, they're backing Musk and Trump all the way. Now, most of them are also
That's why you have to get in touch with them. Okay? That's what you do. You have to get in touch with them. You have to keep making your voice loud because this is a right now it is a democracy by the people, for the people,
not
not for
anymore.
Trump. Okay, and we have to protect that. And the way we're going to protect it is the way our system of government was set up, our system of laws were set up. So
Well,
it's
he controls the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the Supreme Court. So how are you going to do that?
there are people fighting. That's why, and you got to join your voice with them.
I
There
told
are
you there's
people fighting.
attorneys fighting.
Yeah, a lot of attorneys.
All they could do,
Linda,
if the judges
hi.
put out an
Hi,
order,
sorry. My class just ended at 12, and I thought I'd just check in and see what people are saying about this topic.
Well, the trouble is we're all in agreement. So Dave had a problem with his water heater. Bill couldn't come. So I'm kind of hoping that Dave will come soon so we can, because as we were saying, we have totally different realities. And I want to try to understand and get a little glimpse into the mega reality. But I know where you are, Linda, but do you want to speak?
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to tell you about the mega reality. I can't comprehend
No.
it at all.
What was your class?
Okay, so I take this at the community center. It's a iPhone for seniors, and I figure I can't learn too much. Everything I learn is helps me. So
That's great.
well,
yeah.
AOL and Apple have a lot of facts, and they also play what Musk says and what Trump says. But most of the people that voted for Trump, um, they listen to Fox, as was said, and
Yeah.
all they hear is lies.
Yeah.
And And they don't
See, that's what
understand
they
that.
think. The MAGA people think, well, we just listen to MSNBC and CNN and all we hear are lies. So they think the same thing. That's what I'm trying to get through my head. I got a email just now from Marie Lynn, and she said, thank you for sharing Bill's perspective. It's very nice of him to take the time to write it. She says, I'm living in a different world from him. As a retired civil servant, I can assure you that in my agency, we worked our behinds off to serve the public. Our stats consistently showed accuracy rates of in the mid 90s and above. Oh my, I'm getting all wound up. I'm sorry for Bill, and to think that years ago I was sure we were going to get married. Dodge that bullet.
Says, I'm sorry for Bill. I like that. That's funny.
Linda, we're kind of mixing meaning of life and politics. So we started out with meaning of life, and I know you've thought about it a lot. So how would you summarize what you've concluded after many years on the planet? Why are we here?
Oh, I tuned in to hear what you guys were all saying,
Doesn't
but
work like that.
why are we here? I think it's DNA and all that stuff and evolution. But what is our purpose? I think in one sense to the, leave our world better than when it is and love and do the most we can to be kind and grateful and make the world a better place. This is in a very succinct, you know, I mean, there's a lot more to it. It just,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Linda and Joel are in my Happy Marriage book, and they say more about their thinking in that book.
The religion book.
Oh, is it the World Religions and Microcosm? Joel's in the Happy Marriage.
Oh,
No,
Yeah,
Religions and
I'm
Microcosm.
in the world
Sorry.
religion.
Dave and Rosemary are in the Happy Marriage book.
Yeah.
Okay, got that straight. Thanks. Um, so is anyone willing to imagine that you are Bill and Dave? Bill's point is that we don't have a democracy. The Democrats want to be the sole party, one party rule, he calls it. It hasn't been good in terms of outcomes. Biden's administration also censored, like FBI, and they use the DOJ and FBI to prosecute political enemies. Lifetime civil servants believe they answer to no one. Um, so can we get into his thinking at all?
Well, I don't know if I can do that, but I would see why I really, really value Bill and Dave, their participation, because it's the only time that I can have a conversation
And
or discussion, where it doesn't devolve into name calling or something. And so I think I think it would be, I think we all have to be kind of sensitive and careful not to alienate, because I think Dave did get alienated. He said that it wasn't civil, or he didn't come back to the group because well, anyway, he I think we alienated him. So what I'm trying to say is it's a golden opportunity to talk to Dave and Bill, who, they are perfect representatives of that whole mega view in Fox News. Um, but so I think it would be great if they could come and we would discuss it, in a calm way. Um, yeah, but I can't. Here, I
Look
think
at
he's
the
coming in.
Yay,
So
great.
Dave, so so the best thing when Dave comes in is we shouldn't all just attack him. Dave, Dave.
Yes.
Hi, Dave.
Hi,
I got
Dave.
things going on here, sorry.
How's your water heater?
Not working and the dryer has to be replaced. It's always something.
But
Buddha
Dave,
said everything is transitory.
tell how is your health? You look very, very good and handsome. How is your health?
Yeah.
You're a very attractive man, Dan. Don't think I haven't noticed. I don't know how to get all of you on the screen.
I don't need to see.
Who else on the call?
Can you see on your screen?
No, I haven't done this in a while.
Are you on the phone?
Go to view and go to gallery.
There we go.
You.
Okay, here I am.
So we were so happy to have you because we were saying we're trying to understand the Trump mega Musk point of view because we don't get it. So I was just repeating from Bill's note that he thinks Democrats want to be a one-party ruler. They're not really for democracy. They censor. They're bad with the border. What's your thinking and what you think is going on with Musk and Trump and Vance and the gang?
Well, it's not a lot different than Clinton did with Gore some years ago. Did you know that? Remember when they cut back on government? Tried to balance the budget?
Keep going.
I think what Trump's trying to do, and he has his own particular style, if you call it that, but he's trying to shake things up and get rid of fraud and any corruption and waste, and yet still provide the essential services. So I don't agree with how it goes about everything, but I think he's having an effect, that's for sure.
Do you think it matters that he doesn't care about the Constitution, like wanting to do away with birthright citizenship? He really doesn't care about the Constitution, it appears.
Why do you say that?
Because the Constitution, what is it, 13th Amendment says that if you're born in the United States, you're a citizen, and he just executive ordered it away.
I understand there's a legitimate argument that if you're born to illegal immigrants in the United States, you're not necessarily a citizen. If you're born in the United States to legal citizens under the Constitution, yes, you're a citizen. So I think he's testing the waters.
And what do you think about the attempt to undermine Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid in order to keep a tax break for the wealthy?
Why do you think he's undermining Social Security?
Because Congress wants to cut it.
They
The
do?
House. Yeah, the House has a bill that their excuse is there's corruption, which there isn't. There's no evidence that they presented, but they want to cut Medicaid, Medicare, and Medi-Cal.
I've got to turn the volume up.
Okay.
Excuse me, when you say cut, do you mean diminish amounts or to do away with the programs? I'm not clear what you mean.
They mean diminish.
Okay.
But they might also mean cut.
As in eliminate.
Yes.
They can't do that.
They're also talking about eliminating Medicare.
Right. They want to privatize that.
But another thing, see, I don't want Dave to feel ganged up on because there's only one, and Bill Crouch isn't here, who is and so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us and only 8 now, and only one of Dave.
Well, I'm not ganging up on Dave, or I'm not part of ganging up.
Oh, no, John.
I hear it. I really want to hear it.
Yeah.
I want to learn. I don't.
Yeah.
What's the question?
Do you approve of cuts to Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security?
Maybe Medicaid, but not Medicare, not Social Security, no.
Why Medicaid?
I think there's some fraud in that, possibly, maybe not. But I don't agree with one penny coming out of Medicare or of Social Security.
Yeah,
But
we
he
all
just
pay into
wrote
Social Security. It's our money.
that he wants to dismantle or get rid of Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. It's all in one paragraph.
In the Project 2025 book?
No, they quoted Musk.
Oh, Musk. Yeah. Dave, what do you
What
think
Musk
about
says
Musk?
goes.
Elon Musk? Well, I happen to think he's brilliant.
Mm.
He's been able to solve some things from a technological point of view that nobody else has even thought about. Whether he's in the right role or not, I don't know.
What
But
about the fact that he says there's 200 to 300 billion in fraud in Social Security, and the Inspector General said there may be as much as 7 billion, but not 2 or 300 billion. And they don't know that it's even 7 billion. So what he's doing is he's making everything look so much worse so he could dismantle it, because what they really want is uh, to get those tax breaks where they're getting hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars, well, trillions, actually, because their budget was figured out to be $11 trillion. And
That would bankrupt the country. I've been concerned. I've been keeping my mouth shut through most of this, and I've been very concerned. First of all, about the firing of federal employees, people who have been career civil servants and have conducted their lives on their jobs honestly and carefully, and have set a real standard of proper performance in governmental service. And these people are having their lives upended by summarily firings, summary firings, I'm sorry, and you know, just suddenly being wiped off the map in effect. And someone mentioned Rachel Maddow talking about there's a part of southeastern Oregon which is one of the most radioactive pieces of ground in the entire country, possibly in the entire world. It was a place where um, nuclear testing and nuclear plants, were set up, and people there have come down with cancers right and left, and they fired all of the people in charge of keeping watch and taking care of this radioactive site to make sure it doesn't spread, and then they changed their minds. They said, "Oh, wait, no, maybe we did this wrong," but they don't know how to hire them back. So, one talks about uh, 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 Elon Musk being a genius, but he doesn't seem to have the ability to go back on his own, on his own plan and back out of it in some way that will allow
what
the
about the fact that
I,
they
I I don't
they
know.
fired all the inspector generals,
Pardon me?
watchdogs,
Right, yeah, yes, and there is that.
so they can't catch them in their lies.
They what?
They can't catch them in their lies. They're
Uh-huh,
gross exaggerations.
yeah. So yeah, how do you establish a standard of truth? Uh, it seems that we're losing the ability, very fast losing the ability to do that. And I don't know. I mean, just to wipe away science and the truths and methods of science in figuring out things. That goes into healthcare. It goes into scientific research, all kinds of ways in which our country has led the world in scientific research and um, and and not to mention that Elon Musk has one of the most recalled cars um, in the business in the selling of electric cars. So they're not always competent. The people in charge presently are not always competent to get stuff done. And so I don't know. My own distrust is very strong, and I agree with a lot of what Anne has been
I
saying.
think they're going to get rid of NASA and let SpaceX, Elon Musk's company, take over.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Is there a way to turn the volume up? I can barely hear Marty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to do it.
But
I think you have to do it on your own computer.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that because I can barely hear anybody. But let me see.
Dave,
What?
Dave. Listen, it's getting close to 12. But listen, first of all, please come back again. Please come back and I'll try to get Bill to come if you can.
Bill would come. He just has doing the fundraiser.
Well, anyway, I think well, Dave, please come back. That's all I can say. And
Dave,
even though I disagree with you, I still love you.
I can't say that, but I do appreciate what Danny's saying, that I want to hear what you
and
have to say.
and,
Thank
and
you.
What
I,
you
oh,
I don't think my point of view, my own perspective is I'm not a conservative. I'm not a libertarian. I believe I'm using common sense. I think it's not common sense to cut back the funding for the fire department and then have a fire and then fire the fire chief trying to save face.
Yeah.
So I think it just comes down to common sense. I'd like to deal
I
with
really-
common sense and facts.
Are you talking about Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
can't.
well,
Hello.
that's
Sorry, Blake. Keep going. Keep talking.
Kent,
Oh, Kent.
Well, by firing the
Kent,
chief,
you're an hour late, Kent. You idiot. You're
Shut
an hour
up. I
late.
know that. Shut up. Let the people continue talking.
I
oh
just
my
wanted to
God.
express appreciation.
I
Dave,
think it's common sense. If you have crime, you don't defund the police, but that's my thinking. You don't have to agree with it, but that's how I feel.
I agree.
I agree. I actually
That was one of the dumber moves.
I wanted to express appreciation to Dave for saying that you would support Social Security and Medicare.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you seem like a pragmatist, and I really think we need more pragmatism in our approach to society and the world around us.
but
So
I think both Dave and Bill have said that Trump has questionable moral character. Neither you or Bill hold him up as an upstanding teller of truth or virtue. But
Well, I was never a Trump fan. I was never a never Trumper. I liked Mike Pompeo. I don't know what he's doing now. He's gone to the sidelines.
well, Trump got rid of him and took away his security detail to punish him.
And yet he's still putting out all kinds of information, pro-Trump information on the internet. I get messages from him all the time. So I don't know what happened there. I think the governor of Florida would have been a better choice, but I think we've got what we voted for, and a majority voted for him. And I think he's
49.
basically doing everything he said he was
It's
going
a
to
very
do.
slim majority, by the way.
No, it isn't a majority. He got 49%. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Dave. He's doing what he said he was doing. People thought, oh, people told me, well, he didn't do it in his first term. I said, well, he had adults around him to hold his hand in the first term, and he doesn't now. He's
Well,
got
he's following
Hillary and
2025.
Bannon.
Yeah, I I have to go. Can I just say one more thing?
Please.
I think you guys need to also pay attention to what Vance did in the destruction of our allies overseas. I think that's very important. It was a horrible thing that happened. And that's one thing I need you to pay attention to. The other thing is this recorded? Is this a thing that's recorded? So
Yes,
Please don't send it to Trump.
huh?
okay.
He'll put you in jail.
I didn't mean it from that.
Put you in
What I meant is
investigation
that I
on
have to go now, and I was just wondering if I could hear the rest of it after everyone.
Okay,
Yeah, I put it on my
I have to
YouTube
leave,
channel.
but
Okay.
I'll leave you with
you.
this thought. I'm running
Just
just as fast as I can.
So, Martin, were you a lawyer?
I'm still a lawyer.
What kind?
Well, now it's personal injury. I also did medical malpractice and I did criminal law.
Hmm. Where'd you go to law school?
University of San Diego.
Oh, good school.
I started out at UCLA and I majored in pre-medicine, psychology, and theater arts cinematography.
Four
And
things you majored in.
so I completed those. And then I went into law. I was going to be a doctor. And real crazy quirk of fate, I wound up taking somebody's place because he failed the test and he talked me into taking it. I aced it, he failed it. So I called up and said, I want to go there and I know you have a spot. And they said, if we do, you're in.
So that's how you
So,
got into UCSD Law School?
No.
There you go.
University of San Diego.
Oh,
It's on the other side of Point Loma.
hmm.
It's huge.
Is a Jesuit school, isn't it?
Yeah, I went toe to toe with the Jesuit when I was there. But anyway,
Well, that sounds interesting.
when I went, it was in the, I don't know, top 4 or 5 in California. It's still way up there,
Hmm.
and anyway,
John, do you want to say anything after mulling over what we've talked about? I can feel you mulling.
Oh gosh, I'm so confused about everything. I really am. I mean, I'm just confused about everything. I'm in a much better mood since I've come here to this meeting today
Oh, good.
than I was before. And I I don't know what to say about anything.
Like, what's confusing? What's an
I
example?
don't know. Well, are we in Nuremberg 1933? I wonder that. Or is this just my fantasy? Is it
no,
my
you're kind of pretty accurate because Trump's been using the Hitler playbook all the way along, and it works.
Danny, go ahead.
Yeah, John, Nuremberg, 1936. But guess what? I just realized that David Kuhn and Bill Crouch, their surnames are very German. Did
There what?
you're yeah,
Klaus.
Crouch and Kuhn are very German surnames.
Oh, you just noticed that?
I just noticed it just now.
Well,
It's horrifying.
my mother's name was Festeneck or Festernecht.
Pasternak.
So I have that in me too. I'm half German, Austrian.
Well, my mother's father was Austrian and brought his whole family over one by one by one before they put them all in camps and
Oh,
gassed them. He was
the
the editor
whole
for
family made it
he was
over
the
there?
editor for John Steinbeck.
Oh,
Hmm. So
what's your first name, Martin? Or is that your last name, Martin?
Martz is my first name.
And what's your last name?
Waterman.
I'm trying to remember.
to get
He
us.
went to Emerson. He was an Emerson guy.
Oh, okay.
And I started at Hamilton High School, but because my mother was teaching there, they forced my brother and I to leave, and we went to Uni High.
Mm.
So,
Oh, that's it.
David, is it a fair summary of what your point of view is that you advocate common sense? That you think Trump is doing what he said he would do, which is trying to streamline the government, and that is it fair to say you trust that he has good intentions for the people?
I think he knows he's not going to get away with all the stuff he's throwing out there. I think he's putting some ridiculous stuff out, like renaming the Gulf of Mexico and annexing Greenland and
Canada's the
et cetera.
51st
But
state.
he's throwing it all up against the wall and he's seeing what will stick. And he's getting the reaction he should. He's getting tested in court. All these things should be tested.
How
Now,
about Gaza?
He thinks he has.
How about
now
Gaza? He
it's gonna
wants to
be
make it the Riviera,
what he's
another Trump
doing now
hotel.
in court is getting tested because it's the lower courts. But when the thing that happened is going to happen, it goes to the upper court, which is all his, appointees. And if it goes to the Supreme Court, I think too much is going to stick. Not those things that you just mentioned, but
I'm sorry, Linda. I didn't really understand what you said. I've got to go to another doctor's appointment, but thank you all for letting me be on your
Okay.
podcast.
Oh, thank you,
Well,
Dave.
let's take this up again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Dave.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. We'll say goodbye for now.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Gay. Thank you.
Thank
Is every-
you.